Hello and happy Tuesday, which is my book reviews day. And today I want to talk to you about Those Across the River by Christopher Buehlman, as published, well, in a trade edition, but this edition from Midworld Press. Excuse the fact that my dust jacket is not quite all the way down. It's not that bad looking. Beautiful dust jacket here by David Palumbo, interior art by him as well. And wow, what a novel. So I purchased this one as a reduced price copy. I think it was a dinged copy. I can't recall if the stamping coming off was part of the ding or if that's just from me. But there was a scratch on the back, but that's just, it is what it is. You can barely see it in the video. You can barely see it in real life. That's okay with me, and not to be taken against this book at all. So this is the second Midworld Press title that I've read. The first being Blacktop Wasteland. I read that and reviewed that a few weeks back. That one was a phenomenal novel. Wasn't a huge fan of the artwork, and the font choice kind of hurt my eyes a little bit. I'm pleased to say that the artwork in this one by David Palumbo is incredible and adds to the story, and the font choice is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with the fonts there. You can read this entire thing in one sitting if you want to, and you're going to get whatever eye strain you would normally get by reading an entire novel in one sitting. So, Those Across the River takes place in 1930s Georgia. So there is going to be a little bit of race talk going on in 1930s Georgia, as one might expect. I'll get to that in a second. It's the story of failed academic Frank and his scandalous partner Dora. Kind of scandalous because they're not married. At least they're not married when the novel starts. They've run away to Georgia because Frank is the descendant of a plantation owner who was killed in a slavery uprising. And now that he's down in his luck, he finds out that the plantation and the land down there was left to him by his aunt. And so he goes down to kind of collect the benefits. And, there's some bad stuff going across the river. Those Across the River, hence the title. And wow, it's great. This is a signed edition through Midworld Press. I have copy 15 of 500. This, I thought, said End the Pigs. It actually says Send, but unfortunately the S is kind of in the, right there in the seam. Right there on the edge of the page. But this does feature both an author's note in the beginning and introduction by Adam Caesar. Or Cesare? Anyways, the author's note deals with the use of a certain word, the N-word. So being that this takes place in the 1930s, the use of that word is prevalent in the novel. It was in the original novel, and this one is slightly self-censored by Christopher Buehlman for this publication. He decided to take it out and replace it with N, a bunch of dashes, R, a bunch of hyphens. And you know what? It's the author's choice. He's not changing the content of the novel whatsoever. He's just changing the use of that word. So all the power to him. He even puts a content warning on the inside of the dust jacket because he is a very considerate man. Then there's also Who's Good, which is the introduction by Adam Caesar or Cesar. The guy who did Clowns in a Cornfield. And man, it is a great introduction to an incredible novel. So the novel, it starts off, I don't want to say it starts off slow because it doesn't start off slow. It's not action-packed or anything, but it's fascinating. It deals with Frank and Dora coming down. Frank and Dora coming to Georgia, getting their bearings in the town. He tries going across the river where the town does not need necessarily go. He gets stopped by this kind of half-naked African-American boy here that's in the illustration, it's a very creepy encounter. And he gets weirded out and gets the hell off that side of the river. And the town has this monthly ritual in which they take one of the farmer's pigs, like it's a rotation for which farmer it is. They put little bouquets of flowers on them, dress them up, and they send them across the river. And the pigs are never seen or heard from again. And so about 100 pages in, they decide to have this town hall meeting where they say, hey, we are a poor town in 1930s America. We need to stop wasting our pigs by sending them across the river. And the town taxidermist, as towns typically have, Everyone thinks him as kind of the town nut, says, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. The pigs are going over there and something's killing the pigs. I hear them getting killed. What's going to happen if we stop sending them the pigs? And the town's like, it'll be fine. And things are not fine. Holy hell, things are not fine. Third of the way through the book, stuff really starts getting going for what these around the town. And man, it just puts its pedal to the metal, takes off from there. And I read like the entire third in one sitting. I couldn't put it down. It was incredible. Man, such a great take on what's going on in the novel. I don't want to say what's going on in the novel right now because I guess it could technically be a spoiler. I'll say it in a minute. So here's my brief, kind of spoiler-free. I'm not going to go into spoilers. I'm just going to say what the monster is in a minute. Spoiler-free synopsis. It is one hell of a great read. I am shocked that I never heard of this book sooner. I'm shocked that this book isn't bigger than it is. There are copies still available through Midworld Press. Mine was a dinged copy, but it was still well worth the price. It would have been well worth the price of full price. It is one hell of a read, and you'll absolutely love it. If you love horror novels, check this out. All right, there it is. We're approaching 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to give a little spoiler at that point. If you're logging off now, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Other than that, let's go into some slight spoiler territory. It's a werewolf novel. The things across the river are werewolves. I didn't want to show you the second illustration because there's a werewolf in it. Yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, I mean, there's a werewolf in it. You can't really see it, but there's a friggin' werewolf in the corner of his illustration. David Palumbo's artwork is incredible. It really adds to the novel. It's not your traditional werewolf novel, but it is one hell of a werewolf novel. Probably one of my favorite werewolf novels I ever read. That being said, now that I say that out loud, haven't read too many werewolf novels, but this and Jeff Strand's Wolf Hunt, wow, incredible. If anybody ever says, hey, I want a werewolf novel, I'm going to say, go read Those Across the River by Christopher Buehlman. It's incredible. And wow, just such a good read. Originally I thought, the setting doesn't really play into it. It could happen, most of the novel could happen at any point in time. At any location. I thought it would have something to do with, the slavery or like some sort of ghosts involving the slaves of the plantation. No, it's a werewolf novel. And if you're thinking, well, what does that have to do with Southern slavery and what's that to do with the time period? That all comes back. It all comes back full circle. It makes full use of that, not full use. It makes use of that plantation. It makes use of the time period. It makes use of the main character, Frank's history, fighting in World War I. Makes use of all of that. Christopher Buehlman, you amaze me. This is the second book of Buehlman I've read. The first one was Between Two Fires, which is also getting a limited edition treatment by Midworld Press. I read that a few months back and absolutely loved it. That one is a medieval, Middle Ages horror novel, more like fantasy horror. And that one was incredible. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe I'm going to read this. I'm like, oh no, maybe, Christopher Buehlman's an all-right author. No, it makes me want to go out and buy every other damn Christopher Buehlman book and get my hands on and read more of him. It was so good. Buy this novel, man. Thank you very much to Midworld Press for the beautiful treatment of this novel. Makes me very excited to see what you do with the future Buehlman titles. As I said, they are doing Between Two Fires, which I am very excited about, and they're doing The Black Tongue Thief, which I haven't read yet, but after reading his other two novels, I can't wait. I gotta read it. Thank you very much for watching. If you've stuck it out this long through the spoiler territory and my ramblings, once again, please consider liking and subscribing, and we will see you around next time.